My name is Vivian Demuth, and I'm going to read a short story by Hu Shigen. Hu Shigen is a university lecturer, political activist, and dissident writer. He was a founding member of the China Freedom and Democracy Party and China Free Trade Union, and campaigned for government accountability for the violent suppression of the democracy movement in June 1989. Hu was arrested September 27, 1992, and charged with, quote, counter-revolutionary crimes, unquote, for planning June 4th memorial activities in many of China's cities. He received a heavy sentence of 20 years imprisonment and subsequent deprivation of political rights for 5 years. After serving 16 years of his 20-year sentence, during which time he suffered serious health problems and was reportedly tortured, Hu was released in August 2008. He wrote this short story, How Big a Character is Xin, in prison at the end of 1995 or the beginning of 1996. This short story is translated by Zhang Yu, and it's called How Big a Character is Xin. Between heaven and earth, the flakes of snow are fluttering and dancing as if writing a letter. Oh, how big a letter, how big a book. When I was teaching foreigners Chinese at the university, I was often amazed by the questions from the foreign students. Take the Chinese word Xin. It is so simple a Chinese character, but still, it once almost proved too much for me. It was after a lecture, an American student asked me, "Teacher, what does Xin mean?" I shot a look at Xin and answered with an easy smile. It's just the word for letter in English. The left side is a person, and the right side is the character speak. So combined, it means a person speaks. Writing a letter, of course, is speaking with pen on paper. Have you ever written a letter? I added as a joke, making a gesture of writing. The foreign student blinked and pulled out a letter. Like this? Yes, exactly. Is there another meaning? Certainly. It's the verb believe. For instance, I don't believe that. This Xin has the sense of being convinced, trust. But if a Beijing native says, "Yeah, I really Xin you," it's probably irony. Don't listen to what he says, because in his heart, he probably means, "There's no way I believe what you're saying." I was feeling very self-satisfied and was just about to go home. "Any more meanings?" asked the foreign student, not giving up the chase. There are also, my throat constricted a little. I wanted to scratch my head, but felt that might harm the dignity of a teacher. I wanted to say that we would chat another day, but I braced myself, hesitating for a while. There are also, well, of course, belief and faith. For instance, you may Xin Jesus, or Allah, or Buddha. You can also Xin a kind of theory or proposition. You can Xin Marx's communism or Sutter's existentialism, though in that sense it would be better translated conviction. And then there's Xin, which means a person has the confidence to accomplish something. For instance, you have Xin to learn Chinese. I do, look. The foreign student pulled out that letter again. It was similar to a Chinese person's written pledge, put down stroke by stroke in 6 characters. I can learn Chinese well. Well, that was his interpretation of Xin. He really was self-confident. Wonderful. I was just about to encourage him with a few words and say goodbye. I didn't expect he'd open his mouth again. Are there more? Of course there are more. His Jin acted on me like a stimulant. I grew enthusiastic and said, there are at least 4 more. One is the sense of signal and information. Another is the sense of creed. The third, trustworthiness, credit. Both, of course, related to trust. And last, as it's used in the phrases, wag one's tongue too freely, pick up something easily and casually, or walk aimlessly, or write at will, all of which mean roughly, do as you like. The foreign student was delighted. I knew there was something to this Jin. Recalling this little scene, I remember the student's loveliness and my awkwardness. It reminds me that the ocean of knowledge is so vast, and the unknown world is a book that requires careful reading. Even for the character Jin, there are actually still many more meanings to explore. Sitting in my cell, contemplating Jin, I fell into a dream. Many students mailed me many letters from all over the world, and they poured in on me like snowflakes. I hurried to open them, but I couldn't see any characters, neither Chinese nor foreign, on any of them. I turned the letters over and over, but nothing. I woke with a start and went to the window. It's snowing heavily between heaven and earth. The flakes of snow are fluttering and dancing as if writing a letter. Oh, how big a letter, how big a book.